Salvete amici, Magister McKee here with an advanced tip for Imperator Realm. We find these professors have hobbies. One of mine is playing Imperator Realm. I'm creating the collection of advanced tips I've learned. I'm playing this game in case you want to have a study break or to play Crusader Kings in Imperator. This is the fifth of numerous videos going over the Bloodline traits of the Invictus mod as of update 1.9. I'm going to cover what the bonus is for the Bloodlines, where to find them at game start, how fast the Bloodline tends to die out, if it dies out, to help you decide if you want to pursue those Bloodlines and how quickly you need to do it. In this video I'm going to cover the various Bloodlines present or in Anatolia that mostly aren't Hellenic. There's quite a few. So let's get started. So first up is Heraclea Pontica, that has the Achaemenid bloodline. So it gives +1 charisma, 5% spearman discipline for commanders, and a 10% war score reduction and 10% aggressive expansion impact reduction. This is an amazing bloodline. It gives, besides the situational commander bonus that depends on your culture, you get +1 stat, you get aggressive expansion impact reduction, war score reduction is pretty nice too. Now, this bloodline tends to die out pretty fast. Heraclea Pontica is pretty small. It doesn't last all that long usually, so this is a really good bloodline and you need to get it quickly. Moving just a little bit next to Heraclea Pontica, we have the Mithridates bloodline. This one gives +1 finesse. It gives 5% research speed, 5% research speed to all 4 categories, and 5% commerce income. Now this starts in Chios, it quickly migrates over to Pontus. There's a civil war where they control one side of that civil war. So the free stat alone makes it a great bloodline. The commerce bonus is great as well. The research speed has some value, but there is diminishing returns because there is ahead of time penalties. Survival is very much not guaranteed as well, so you need to be urgent here in getting this too. Next, go over to Bithynia. And this bloodline gives +2 fort infrastructure capacity for governors and a reduction in city cost for rulers of 5%. So the governor bonus is worthless. Being able to put some extra forts on the province doesn't really matter. You rarely want to build forts, and infrastructure capacity just doesn't give you anything really useful. There are far better governor bonuses. The 5% reduction in city founding, it's alright. City founding costs political influence, so being able to do it for a smaller price is good, but there's a lot of ways to reduce city costs down to the minimum, and it doesn't happen all that often. So bonuses are not particularly very good, and this is a small country in a pretty volatile area with some strong countries nearby, so again, some urgency needed, but it's a weak bloodline, so you probably aren't going to be all that excited about trying to grab this one quickly. Next, Cappadocia. So Cappadocia actually has two bloodlines, both in a minor family for the Eumenes family. So first one is Pharnabazus. It gives 2 ruler bonuses, +2 diplomatic reputation, and 5% manpower recovery. So the Diplo rep is great. It gives you aggressive expansion decay. The manpower, it helps you early game. When manpower is tight, after that, doesn't really matter. So decent value, and it's much more helpful early game because of manpower than later on. It's usually present for a long while but there's some risk there because there's typically an event-driven revolt that tries to put this family in charge of Cappadocia, and they don't always succeed, so be aware of that. And then the other bloodline in this family, the bloodline of Jimenez, gives 10% spearman discipline for commanders and plus 15% fort defense for rulers. Commander bonus is situational, depends on your culture, if you have the spearmen in your culture. And then fort defense, it doesn't do much. You shouldn't normally be in situations where you need to have fort defense in order to stave off your enemies. You should be the one sieging them, not them sieging you. So not a great bloodline, but it's also attached to the other bloodlines, so you're going to get it for free anyways. Next, the bloodlines in Paphlagonia. There are two. I'm going to start with Blood of Midas. So it gives 2 bonuses: ruler bonus of 10% national tax income and civic tech research speed of 5%. So a big bonus to our nation's income, which is nice, and a pretty limited bonus to research speed. It benefits only 1 of 4, and there is ahead of time penalties. So above average value, and this one tends to survive longer than some of the nearby smaller countries, but it still has some risk that it might not stick around. And the other bloodline in this family, Pleomens, gives you 10% local fort defense for governors and 10% garrison size for rulers. Terrible bloodline. Doesn't do much at all. Fort defense doesn't really benefit you much. You should be the one who is sieging, not being sieged, and garrison size is probably the worst ruler bloodline of them all. And the nice thing is this comes for free with the Midas bloodline, so you don't have to spend any extra resources to get this one. Next, Atropates bloodline in Atropaten A. This bloodline gives 5% state religion happiness for governors and 10% omen power for rulers. So 5% happiness for everyone of the right religion. Nice bonus for your governors. 10% omen power makes your omens more powerful. Also pretty good. Now this guy tends to not survive super long. Either Armenia or the Seleucids or both will kind of eat it, so there is some urgency needed. Next one is Armenia. The Orontid bloodline gives 5% light cavalry discipline for commanders and 20% reduction for fort maintenance. So, if you have light cavalry, commander bonus is useful, otherwise less useful, and fort maintenance is also very situational. If you have lots of forts, it can save you a lot of money. It's 0.08 per month per fort. But if you don't have a lot of forts, then not really all that useful. It doesn't save you very much money. So very situational. Now Armenia tends to last for a very long time, so you're not going to ever lose access to this bloodline. And last one is Bulbe. So the bloodline of Teucer gives 10% archer offense to commanders and 10% reduction to founded cities. Commander bonuses are, of course, dependent on your culture's levy, and city reduction is found in many places. It's situational. You're not always doing much with city founding, so quite situational. Because it's such a small country in this area, there's just always some inherent risk that it's not going to last all that long. So overall, there's 2 great bonuses with bloodline stats, and a lot of the other ones are questionable of value. Be sure to grab those Achaemenid bloodline quickly, or you might not get it. If you found this video helpful for your study break, please comment, like, and/or subscribe so that others can find this video too. Happy not studying or playing Crusader Kings.